It's evangelism aimed at an audience that preachers may not be reaching.
We have to win this young hip-hop generation for Jesus Christ, and what we use is hip-hop music.
Our music needs to change.
Somebody doesn't want to be a player. Somebody don't want to be a thug. Somebody wants to live right. Say yeah!
Help us reach a lost generation before it's too late.
Turn with me to Isaiah 46. 9th verse says, remember the former things of old. For I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. God got to say it twice. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times things that are not yet done. Saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. God says, I don't care what you got planned. You got a whole bunch of plans that have come out of your flesh and out of your mind about where you're going, where you want to go, and what you want to do. God says, okay, give it. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel, that will stand. God says, I don't care what you planned, you have a destiny that I've already set. There is something that I've already set for you, and when you find it, you'll have joy. But if you don't find it, you'll have stress. One of the reasons why we're so broke in the body of Christ is that we're walking in things that God didn't order. I'm here to tell you tonight, and I'm sorry to mess you up because I want you to be so burdened when you leave here. I do not want you to leave here feeling good. I want you to examine where you are, because most of us are doing stuff that God didn't order. And then you want to come to the altar and get somebody to pray you out of misery that you decided to walk in. There are many of us who are outside of the covering of God because we have not got the redemptive revelation, the vision that God has given us for our lives and the destiny that He predestined for us, and we're not walking in it. So He's saying, you're not covered. This nation has lost its revelation of who Christ is because there's no redemptive revelation of the order of God. So whatever feels good, looks good, and whatever you want, you can do. And we're raising up a bunch of wild stuff up in here. If our knowledge is based on our experience, then God is limited by our experience. Not figuring out who we are. Therefore, we will be, watch this, dependent on someone else to tell us about God and interpret our destiny for us. You are already everything God intended for you to be. And if you ever grab that, it'll stop us from trying to be like somebody else all our life. I'm going to say this. 80% of stuff that we do in the church now, we don't know why we do it. Other than Deacon so-and-so used to do it, and then the other deacon board used to do it, the other pastor used to do it, and somewhere in the Bible they say take communion the first Sunday, because that's the way we always did it. So it must be biblical. If you want to be blessed, God just told me this simply in the last few days. He said, if you want blessings, they're already there. All you got to do is get in order. He said, the only problem in the body of Christ is lack of order. And as soon as it gets in order from the top down, then everything that is hanging up will fall. But if you're going to be outside of the order of God and just doing stuff and not knowing why you're doing it, God said, keep your stuff, because I'm definitely keeping mine. I'm telling you, I'm going through the motions of life to figure out how did I get to be so awesome in the sight of God. I'm going on a trip. It's a little rough, gets a little bumpy, go through some bad weather, but I ain't stopping in the bad weather. I ain't stopping from a bump. I might get slowed down, but I'm going to get to where I'm supposed to be. And I'm just taking a view of what it took to make me so awesome. I'm just getting a view. Do you realize I done come through hell so many times that most folks stopped, but I kept going? Do you realize that I'm so no problem with you before. When you were just spirit, you had dominion. When you were just spirit, when I created you first in Genesis 1:26 and made him male and female, you were spirit. You had dominion, you subdued, you ruled. You agreed to your destiny. My problem came after you got formed. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I don't know you now. Everything I spoke about you is finished. You already, whether you realize it or not, you already are who I said you are.
This is Cheryl. I'm in Denver, and God has just blessed you. Thank you so much.
This is Joshua. Oh my goodness, you blessed me with that broadcast. You don't know how you blessed me. And this is something you can battle the world with, man. I showed it to one of the pastors. They love it.
My name is Bruce. I just want to say thank you, sir. I really love these sermon songs. I have Volume 1, Pastor Jones and Creflo and all them. Basically, man, I just want to tell you that this has been a blessing in my life.
I know sermon songs and life radio and all that stuff is bumping, and you getting your pub. But man, it was a wash away if you come out here to the West Coast. For real.